A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatan min lisani yafqahu qawli. Juz 20, Surah An-Naml, verse 60. Is not he who has created the heavens and the earth, sends down rain from the sky, and with it brings forth the beautiful gardens, not better than the false gods that they worship? Is it not in your ability to cause the growth of trees for those gardens? Is there another God besides Allah who could do that? No doubt they are a people who have swerved from justice in ascribing equals to Him. 61. Just think who has made the earth a place for your residence, caused in it the rivers to flow, set mountains upon it, and placed a barrier between the two seas. Is there another God besides Allah? Nay, most of them have no knowledge. 62. Just think who answers the oppressed person when he cries out to him and relieves his affliction, and makes you, O mankind, inheritors of the earth. Is there another God besides Allah? How little do you reflect? Now the verse means that the only being who is by your side in all trials and tribulations of your life is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. 63. Just think who guides you in darkness on the land and the sea, and who sends the winds as heralds of good news of His mercy. Is there another God besides Allah? Exalted be Allah above what they associate with Him. 64. Just think who originates creation and then repeats its production, and who gives you sustenance from the heaven and the earth. Is there another God besides Allah? Show us your proof if you are telling the truth. 65. Say, no one in the heavens or in the earth has the knowledge of the unseen except Allah, and their gods do not know when they shall be raised to life again. 66. Their knowledge does not grasp the hereafter, rather they are in doubt about it, nay, they are blind concerning it. 67. The unbelievers say, what, when we and our forefathers have become dust, shall we really be raised from the dead? 68. This promise which is made to us was also made to our forefathers before us. These are nothing but the legends of primitive people. 69. Say, travel through the earth and see what has been the end of criminals. 70. O Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, do not worry about them nor feel distressed because of their plots. 71. They also ask, when will this promise be fulfilled if what you say is true? 72. Say, it may be that a part of what you wish to hasten is near at hand. 73. Surely your Rabb is very gracious to mankind, yet most of them are ungrateful. 74. Indeed, your Rabb knows what their breasts conceal and what they reveal. Now here the indication is towards the vastness of the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Nothing is hidden from Allah, and He has complete knowledge of everything. 75. Nor is there any secret in the heavens and the earth which is not recorded in a clear book. Now the book here means the divine record in which everything has been registered. 76. In fact, this Quran clarifies for the children of Israel most of those matters in which they differ. The verse means that the people of the book argue with each other regarding various concepts, but the Quran has put an end to these arguments by explaining the correct concept. For example, the status of Jesus. The Jews degrade Him and insult His status, whereas the Christians elevate Him above His status and enter the premises of shirk. But the Quran defines and outlines His correct status, that He is a slave and a messenger of Allah. 77. It is certainly a guide and blessing to true believers. 78. Surely your Rabb will decide between them by His judgment. He is the Almighty, the All-Knowing. 79. Therefore put your trust in Allah, for you are certainly on the manifest truth. Now Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is being told that don't lose your confidence due to the constant opposition of the non-believers. You keep your trust in your Rabb and believe in this fact that you are on the right path. Verse 80. The fact is that you cannot make the dead hear you, nor can you make the deaf to hear the call, especially when they turn their backs and pay no heed. 81. Nor can you guide the blind people to prevent them from straying. None will listen to you except those who believe in our revelations and become Muslims. 82. When the time to fulfill our word comes to pass, we will bring out from the earth a monster that shall speak to them, because the people did not believe in our revelations. Now this means that by the end of time, an unusual animal will appear who will not be born in the natural way, but just come out of the earth. And there are many traditions which describe this animal. He will speak, and what will he say? That people did not believe in our verses. 83. On that day we shall gather from every nation a multitude of those who disbelieved our revelations. Then they shall be arranged in classifications according to their merit. 84. Until when they have all arrived, their Rabb will ask, did you deny my revelations without gaining their comprehensive knowledge? If not, what else were you doing? 85. The sentence will be carried out against them for the consequence of their wrongdoings, and they will not be able to utter a word. 86. Do they not see that we have made the night for them to rest in, and the day to give them light? Surely there are signs in this for the true believers. Now the verse means that in the alteration of the day and night is ample evidence for a person to believe in Allah. The very same way, one day this dunya will end like the day ends, and the Qiyamah will come like the night. And the next verse explains, verse 87, on the day when the trumpet shall be blown, and all who dwell in the heavens and the earth shall be terrified, except those whom Allah will choose to spare, and all shall come to him in utter humiliation. 88. These mountains which you see and think are firmly fixed will pass away like clouds. Such is the might of Allah, who has perfected all things. He is aware of what you do. Now the verse says that today you look at the mountains and you think that they are so solid, so firm. But on the day of Qiyamah, these mountains will be uprooted and they would be floating about in space like clouds, like they have no weight at all. 89. Those who have done good deeds shall be rewarded with what is better and shall be secure from the terror of that day. 90. And those who have done evil deeds shall be flung upon their faces in the hellfire. Should you not be rewarded according to your deeds? 91. O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, say to them, I have been commanded to worship the Rabb of this city, the one who has made it sacred and who is the owner of all things, and I am commanded to be of those who are Muslims. 92. And that I should recite the Quran now. Whoever follows this guidance will be guided for his own good, and to him who goes astray, say, I am merely a warner. 93. Then proclaim praise be to Allah. Very soon He will show you His signs and you will recognize them. Your Rabb is not unaware of what you do. Surah Al-Qasas, verse 1. Ta, Sin, Mim. 2. These are the verses of the glorious book that makes things clear. 3. In all truth, we narrate to you some information about Musa and Pharaoh for the instruction of the believers. That this episode took place centuries before, but we will describe it to you with precision so that the people who bring Iman in the coming generations will also benefit from this story. 4. It is a fact that Pharaoh elevated himself in the land and divided its residents into groups, one group of which he oppressed, putting their sons to death and sparing only their females. Indeed, he was one of the mischief makers. 5. But we wanted to favor those who were oppressed in the land, to make them leaders, to make them heirs. 6. To establish them in the land and show Pharaoh, Haman and their warriors at their hands the same which they feared. Now, who was Haman? He was Pharaoh's deputy. And what did they fear? That this prophet will come and seize their power in the land. 7. So we revealed our will to the mother of Musa. Suckle him, and when you feel any danger to his life, cast him into the river without any fear or grief, for we shall certainly restore him to you and make him one of our Rasuls. Now the word wahi is used in its literal meaning, which means putting in someone's heart. It does not mean the wahi which comes to prophets through angels. She was not commanded to cast the child into the river immediately after the birth, but to suckle it till the time she felt a real danger for it. 8. we made Pharaoh's family pick him up from the river. It was intended that Musa may become their adversary and a cause of their sorrow. Surely Pharaoh, Haman, and their warriors were all sinners. 9. The wife of Pharaoh said, this child may become the comfort of the eyes for me and for you. Do not kill him. He may prove useful to us, for it be that we will adopt him as a son. They were unaware of the result of what they were doing. Verse 10. On the other hand, the heart of Musa's mother was sorely troubled. She would have disclosed as to who he was, had we not strengthened her heart so that she becomes one of the true believers. Now the verse says that after putting the baby in the sea, Musa alayhi salam's mother became overpowered with anxiety and grief, and due to this anxiety, she was about to scream out that this is my baby flowing in the sea, so that someone would save him. And this is something very natural. After all, she was a mother, and what she had to do was something very, very difficult to do, and she had to suppress her natural instincts and emotions. But at this very moment, when she was about to break down, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in his extreme love and mercy, strengthened her heart. How? By giving her patience, by reinforcing her trust in Allah's mercy. And this trust became so strong that its power subsided the power of her anxiety. And she kept quiet. And the end of the verse says that she became one of the true believers. This shows that if you want yourself to be counted amongst the true believers, then you have to put your trust in Allah's mercy. 11. She said to Musa's sister, go and follow him. So she watched him from a distance in such a way that the others did not notice it. Now this sister of Musa alayhi salam was about 10 to 12 years of age at that time. And some books of the Tafsir say that her name was Miriam, and she was a very smart and intelligent girl, exceptionally bright. She understood the gravity of the situation, and she walked and followed the basket in such a manner that the enemies could not know that she had something to do with the child in it. And she did her duty until she was certain that her brother was picked up by Pharaoh's servants. 12. We had already ordained that he would refused to suckle any foster mother. His sister came to Pharaoh's wife and said, shall I point out to you a house whose people will take care of him for you, and they will be sincere to him? So the child would not take milk from any nurse whom the queen would call for suckling him. And this verse shows that the sister did not go and sit back home when she found that her brother had reached Pharaoh's palace, but she cleverly hung about the palace to watch every new development. Then when she found that the child was not taking the milk of any nurse, and the queen was anxious to get a nurse who would suit it, the intelligent girl went straight into the palace and said, I can tell you the whereabouts of a nurse who will take good care of this child with affection. 13. Thus did we restore him to his mother, that her eyes might be comforted, that she might not grieve, and that she might know that the promise of Allah is true. Yet most of the people do not understand. Subhanallah. So Allah's promise came true, and the baby was returned to the mother. She kept her trust in Allah in the most difficult of situations, and Allah did not shatter her trust. The baby she had slipped away in the sea had come back in her arms to cool her eyes. And the end of the verse says that most of the people do not understand. What don't they understand? That when you trust in Allah's mercy, His help and support is sure to come. 14. When he reached maturity and became a full grown, we bestowed on him wisdom and knowledge. Thus do we reward the righteous. 15. One day he entered the city at a time when its people were not yet active. He found two men reaching to each other's throats. One was from his own race and the other from his foes. The man of his own race appealed for his help against his foe, whereupon Musa gave his foe a blow which killed him. On seeing what he has done, he said, this is the work of Shaitan. Surely he is an enemy that openly mislead. 16. Then he prayed, O my Rabb, I have indeed wronged my soul. Please forgive me. So Allah forgave him. Surely he is the forgiving, the merciful. 17. Musa said, O my Rabb, after this favor that you have bestowed on me, I shall never be a helping hand to the criminals. So Musa alayhi salam prayed to his Rabb and begged Allah to forgive his sin and also cover it. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in his extreme mercy accepted his dua and pardoned Musa alayhi salam's error, as well as concealed his sin from the people. And then in verse 17, Musa alayhi salam thanks Allah for his favor, that is the favor of concealing his act from his enemies and enabling him to escape unharmed from Egypt. And then he promises Allah that to show my gratitude, I will never become a helper of a tyrant, anyone who practices cruelty. Now this has been given two interpretations, and both of them are correct. And both of them are applicable. One is that he came to know that the person he helped was a quarrelsome person by nature, and he liked to pick fights with everyone, and such a person does not deserve to be helped. And the second interpretation, in which most of the commentators say that Musa alayhi salam had pledged to cut his relations with Pharaoh and his government, who worked on the principle of cruelty and oppression. 18. Next morning, as he was walking in the city in fear and caution, suddenly he saw the same man who had helped the day before cried out to him again for help. Musa alayhi salam told him, "You are certainly a misguided person." 19. Then when Musa alayhi salam was about to lay his hands on a man who was an enemy to both of them, he cried out, "O Musa, do you intend to kill me as you killed a person yesterday? You only want to become a tyrant in the land and have no intention of reforming anything." Now the fight is between the same Israeli and another Egyptian, and when the Israeli sees that Musa alayhi salam is angry, he blurts out the secret that Musa killed a person yesterday, and the Egyptian got hold of this information and informed the chiefs of Pharaoh, who were already anxiously looking for the murderer. 20. At that time there came a man running from the other end of the city and said, "O Musa, the chiefs are plotting to kill you, therefore run away, surely I am your well-wisher." Now this person who came to inform Musa alayhi salam, it is said about him that he was an Egyptian and was from the court of Pharaoh, but he liked Musa alayhi salam, that's why his loyalties were with him. 21. Hearing this, Musa left that place in fear and caution, praying, "O my Rabb, deliver me from the wrongdoers." 22. As he made his way towards Madian, he said, "Soon my Rabb shall guide me to the right way." 23. When he arrived at the well of Madian, he saw a multitude of men watering their flocks, and besides them 2 women who were keeping their flocks back. He asked, "What is the problem?" They replied, "We cannot water our flocks until the shepherds take away the flocks from the water, because we are weak and our father is a very old man." 24. So he watered their flocks for them and went back to the shade and prayed, "O my Rabb, surely I am in desperate need of whatever good that you may send down to me." Now this is the true Muhsin, who works for the weak and the helpless without any expectation of reward. And Musa alayhi salam helped the girls, but he took no advantage of the situation, did not even try to talk to them, and he asks Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for his reward. Verse 25. Soon after that, one of the 2 women came to him walking bashfully and said, "My father is calling you. He wishes to reward you for watering our flocks for us." When Musa alayhi salam came to him and narrated his story, the old man said, "Have no fear. You have escaped from those wicked people." 26. One of them said, "Father, hire this man. The best that one can hire is a man who is strong and trustworthy." Now this girl thought that her father was weak and old, and they had no brother even, and these girls had to go out for rigorous work. So it would be a good idea if their father hired Musa alayhi salam as a servant. 27. The old man said to Musa alayhi salam, "I'm willing to give you one of my daughters in marriage if you stay in my service for 8 years, but you may complete 10 if you wish. I do not want to put you in trouble. Allah willingly, you will find me one of the righteous." Now as we know that this father of the girls was the Prophet Shoaib alayhi salam, and he must have thought that no doubt this man is a noble fellow, but employing a strong man like him as a servant in the house where there are grown-up daughters would not be the right thing to do. So he thought that this man Musa alayhi salam is gentle, educated, civilized, belonging to a noble family, so why shouldn't he be kept as a son-in-law in the house? Verse 28. Musa replied, "So be it an agreement between me and you, whichever of the 2 terms I complete, let there be no compulsion on me." So this shows another important point, that it is always wise and advisable to settle all the terms and conditions clearly before making any contract. 29. After completing the term of his agreement, when Musa alayhi salam was traveling with his family, He saw a fire in the direction of Mount Tur. He said to his family, "Stay here. I saw a fire and I hope to bring some information from there or a lighted torch with which you may warm yourselves." 30. But when he reached there, a voice called out to him from the right side of the valley, blessed spot, from a tree, saying, "O Musa, surely I am Allah, the Rabb of the worlds." 31. Then Allah commanded, "Throw down your staff." When Musa saw that the staff was writhing like a snake, he turned his back and fled and did not even look back. Allah said, "O Musa, come back and do not fear, you are quite safe." 32. Now put your hand in your pocket. It will come out shining white without any harm to you. Whenever you feel afraid, draw your hand towards yourself to ward off fear. These are two solid proofs from your Rabb towards Pharaoh and his chiefs. Surely they are a wicked people. 33. Musa submitted, "O my Rabb, I have killed one of them. I fear that they will put me to death." Now, it's not that Musa alayhi salam is refusing Allah's command, but it is his apprehension that the Pharaohs are after his life and he would not live to do justice to this mission. 34. My brother Harun, he is more eloquent in speech than I. Send him with me as a helper to confirm my words. I fear that they will treat me as a liar. Now, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chooses someone for his work, this does not necessarily mean that he is an eloquent speaker or that his past is absolutely spotless. Allah does not look at the outward but the inward. The sincerity of the heart with which a person truly and genuinely wants to serve Allah's deen to gain his pleasure. 35. Allah replied, "We will certainly strengthen your arm with your brother and give both of you such authority that they shall not be able to harm you. Now proceed with our signs. You and those who follow you will surely be victorious." 36. When Musa came to them with our clear signs and invited them to Islam, they said, "This is nothing but baseless sorcery, and we never heard such a thing in the times of our forefathers." 37. Musa stated, "My Rabb knows best who it is that comes with guidance from him and who will gain the reward of the hereafter. Surely the wrongdoers will not attain felicity." 38. Pharaoh said, "O chiefs, you have no other god than I know of except myself. O Haman, bake for me bricks from clay and build me a high tower so that I may climb it to see the God of Musa. Most surely I think him to be one of the liars." Now these are statements born out of extreme arrogance. Now this man, Pharaoh, he was brimming over with arrogance. That's why he made such statements. Verse 39, he and his warriors were arrogant in the land. Without any right, they thought that they would never be brought back to us. 40. So we seized him and his warriors and flung them into the sea. See what was the end of wrongdoers. 41. We made them leaders who started calling people to hellfire, but on the day of resurrection they will not get any help. So Pharaoh still remained a leader, but this second time he will be the leader of those who will enter hellfire. 42. We laid a curse on them in this world, and on the day of resurrection they will be of the despised. 43. We gave Musa the book after we had destroyed the former generations, an eye-opener, a guide and a blessing, so that they may be reminded. 44. O Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you were not present on the western side of the mountain when we gave Musa the law, nor did you witness that event. 45. We raised many generations and a long time had passed over them. You were not living among the people of Madian reciting to them our revelations, but it is we who are sending to you the news of that time. Now the verse means that a long period of time has passed since all these events occurred, but you, O Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, knew nothing about them. But through the revelation you are being informed in great detail about them, and when you recite this event via these verses, it seems as if they happened before your eyes. 46. Nor were you at the sight of the mountain of Tur when we called out to Musa, but it is your Rabb's mercy that you are being given this information, so that you may forewarn a nation to whom no warner had come before you. Maybe they will take heed. 47. So that they may not be able to say when a disaster befalls them on account of their misdeeds, Our Rabb, had you sent us a Rasul, we would have followed your revelations and become believers. 48. Now that the truth has come to them from us, they are saying, why is he not given the like of what was given to Musa? Have they not rejected that which was given to Musa before? They claim these are the two works of sorcery complementing each other, and they say, we disbelieve in both. Now, what was given to Musa means the miracles given to Musa alayhi salam. That these people of Makkah say that why aren't miracles given to Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam like Musa alayhi salam. Now these people are asked by Allah that Musa alayhi salam presented these miracles in Pharaoh's court, and by the way, who believed in him there? Despite these miracles, meaning that the people who are bent upon denial and rejections, miracle or no miracle, they are not going to believe. And then the verse says that these people also say that these two magics confirm each other. Now what are these two magics? The Torah and the Quran, na'uzubillah, that these two confirm and support each other, and that we believe in neither of them. 49. Ask them, bring a book from Allah which is a better guide than these two. I will follow it if what you say be true. Now Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is made to answer that, okay, if these two books are magic as you say, then you go ahead and bring a third book which is Allah's book but not magic, and it gives more guidance than these two. Then I assure you that I am going to follow this third book. Actually, this was a challenge for the non-believers which they were unable to meet. 50. So if they do not meet this demand, you should know that they only follow their own desires. And who is more misguided than the one who follows his own desires rather than the guidance from Allah? In fact, Allah does not guide such wrongdoing people. 51. We have conveyed our word to them over and over again in order that they may take heed. Wa akhiru dawana anil hamdulillahi rabbil alameen.